Please don't watch this next section until you've watched the others. Thank you. Of course, the answer to that question is yes, there is a God. Even though the people have been led astray from God, there is actually something real behind it all. So let's now look at the reality of God. Let's take a moment to look back at each time in history and see if we can find out where the real, true God was. By doing this, perhaps we can get a better idea of what God is really all about. Perhaps we can even help to eliminate a lot of the wrong ideas and work to discover truth. Pre-civilization. At this time, the people worshipped their ancestors. All the knowledge that they had was passed down from one generation to the next. They survived because of what they were taught from those who came before. So where's God in all this? God was the one who whispered all that needed knowledge into the ears of those who would listen. It was God that led the people to learn how to make tools, weapons, fire, and everything else. It was God that made sure that they had all the things they would need to survive in this world. Ancient peoples. At this time, the people began to worship nature, to give thanks for the benefits that they received. They were the ones who developed primitive farming skills and learned how to be more centralized in one area. So where's God in all this? God was the one who whispered about how to collect seeds and plant crops. God was the one who led them to discover how to give thanks for the many benefits they received. It was God that helped them learn how to store the food and how to take care of their new animals. Babylonians. At this time, the people began to found great civilizations. They began to work together to create something greater than they could have dreamed. It was the first time that people began to specialize in many areas. So where's God in all this? God was the one that helped them learn they could do great things by working together. God helped them to realize there was more to life and led them to make discoveries that helped open the door to new ways of thinking. God helped them to learn all the knowledge they needed to grow and evolve in life. Egyptians. At this time, the people had forged a great nation. They had learnt how to work stone to be able to produce massive monuments. They also discovered how to take care of vast numbers of people, how to make sure that they were fed and taken care of. So where's God in all this? God was the one who helped them learn how to use stone with such precision. It was God who helped give them ideas on how to pull off the massive projects. God helped them to see the importance of the people and treat them fairly. God also helped to make sure the people could be truly happy in life. Greco-Roman. At this time, the people had created the foundations of democracy. They had forged an empire that put the known world under one rule. They were the ones who helped the idea of the one true God to spread throughout that world, and much more. So where's God in all this? God was the one that whispered the idea that people could lead themselves. God was the one who helped them learn that they didn't need to be separate, that they could come together and accomplish greater things in life. God worked behind the scenes to try and enlighten the people and give them new wisdom. Medieval. At this time, the people had spread the word of the one true God around the known world. They created the church as a means to spread the teachings and learn new sacred knowledge. Sadly, the people were not well cared for or even thought about. So where's God in all this? God was trying to get the people to discover more about the reality of God. God was the one who whispered in the ears of the church founders to create the church. God was also the one who tried in vain to get people to unite together, which was sadly corrupted into dominate. Dark Ages. At this time, the world was in utter darkness. The church ruled with an iron fist. The people suffered and disease spread across the world, killing countless people. This was a time of total power, domination, corruption, and despair. So where's God in all this? God was the one trying in vain to get the people to come together. God was the one who tried to teach those who would listen that there were different ways to save themselves. God was also the one trying to enlighten the people to the idea that church had lost its way but still needed to be saved. Industrial Age. At this time, the people had developed science and were enjoying new developments that allowed them to experience an entirely new way of life. Some people sadly also worked to dominate and control the lives of unfortunates for the betterment of the few. So where's God in all this? God helped the people develop science, planting ideas into the minds of those who would listen. God was the one who planted the idea of freedom into the hearts and minds of the people. God was also the one who worked to ensure people were seen as equals, regardless of other individual people's viewpoints. Mechanical age. At this point, the people had developed many great new technologies. Sadly, it was also a time of terrible war and atrocities that shocked the very core of the world we live in. It was also a time that people united and tried to overcome evil. So where's God in all this? God was still whispering new ideas into the minds of those who would listen. God worked to get people to realize that atrocities committed by other people could not be tolerated. God also tried in vain to get the people to try and come together as one, which didn't last for long. Modern age. This is the time we're in now, a time when politics rule the world and not the people. It's a time when people are being led to believe only what their leaders want them to believe. It's also a time of great turmoil, mayhem, and upheaval. So where's God in all this? God is doing what God has always been doing, trying hard to get people to open up and learn more about the world around them. God has but one goal for each and every last person on the planet: to live the best life possible. This, however, doesn't mean having the most money, possessions, or power. It means being willing to live the life you were born to live, to take charge of your life and make it worth something. Sadly, the people have been led astray by talk of God, when God has been trying in vain to get the world to learn to listen. God's lessons are really very simple and easy to learn and follow. First and foremost, trust in yourself. Don't allow others to dictate your life. Your life was given to you, not them. By allowing them to live your life for you, you forfeit your life to the whims of others. By being in charge of your life, you decide what to do with it at all times. You're in charge. Second, be kind and caring. Life is not about you versus the world. It isn't a competition. To live the best life possible, share yourself with others. Share your ideas, points of view, time, whatever. By doing this, your life will be enriched as well as the lives of those you choose to share it with. Everyone wins. Third, don't wait for others to do it for you. It's your life after all. Why should someone else do anything for you when you're unwilling to do it for yourself? Again, it's your life. Why not try and live it to the utmost of your own personal ability? Again, then everyone wins. Fourth, embrace the miracles around you. Truthfully, life is full of miracles. Just because you see them all the time doesn't make them less miraculous. You're alive, aren't you? Isn't that the single most amazing thing you're ever going to realize? There is so much more to life than you can currently understand. Lastly, life is what you make of it. If you wait for others to make your life better, it'll be a very long wait. By doing the work to make it better yourself, it comes sooner, you get to take pride in it because you made it happen, and you'll be able to realize you have a true sense of worth. It is really that easy. Everything God is really about leads you to improving and bettering yourself. Doesn't that sound more like the loving and caring God you've always heard about? God has been with you always in your life, even when you didn't know about it. God was there to help you make it through and help you to keep going. God is inside all of the lessons in life, both the easy and hard ones. God only wants what's in your own best interest. When you head down a harmful path, God will be there to try and bring you back to the one you should be on. The struggles and the pain along the way comes from the path you chose, not from God. Understand, there is more to God than you can begin to realize yet. If you want to learn more, look within. God has always been in your heart. You just need to learn to be open, receptive, and listen to God's wisdom. It will never lead you astray because God is within you. God is a part of who you really are. Think on that for a moment, and when you're ready, come to part 9.